Hi, I am Kai Graham from the Mind Model, and I'm really just going to touch on maybe a 4-step plan that might be able to help any of you out there who suffer from anxiety or panic attacks. So what prompted this was this morning I was on Facebook. I do a daily quote every day, and someone shared with me a post that Julia Roberts, the actress, had made on her wall, I think probably only a couple of days ago, which was she just wanted to publicly sort of acknowledge the fact that for the last couple of years, she says, in her words, I think it was, she's been fighting depression. And it just made me think, well, it comes to us all. Maybe not personally, but there's always friends or family who suffer from mental health issues. And also, I'm a childline counsellor, and I had a sort of case the other day where one of the sort of children that young people that contacted us also said that they suffered depression, but mainly also that they have been also battling with anxiety and panic attacks. So it just sort of goes to show it could be a 10-year-old child, a housewife, a business executive, or Julia Roberts, who in many people's eyes has everything. And you know, it just shows that panic, anxiety, depression, I know I'm glibly lumping them all into sort of one bucket, but for the purpose of this video, forgive me. But it just goes to show that actually mental health issues can have no boundaries, and it just sort of it has no sort of selection process, and it can hit any of us. And really what I was wanting to sort of see if I could offer a tiny bit of help is that I've got a 4-stage plan, and it takes a matter of minutes, which might help some of you out there who are battling with panic attacks, anxieties, whatever. Let me just give you the sciencey bit to start off with. Our brain sort of tells us, oh God, there's an emergency situation, panic, panic. And what it does is it sends triggers and messages to the adrenal gland, which is a tiny sort of pea-sized sort of organ somewhere. I think it's above the kidneys or somewhere on there. And what that then does is it triggers the adrenal glands to pump adrenaline into our body. And what does that do? Well, it gives us increased heart rate, sweaty palms, fuddled brain. I mean, we all know the sort of some of the feelings of stresses and anxieties, and it can be different for everyone. But basically, it's an overload of adrenaline into the body, which is preparing us for an emergency, fight or flight. You know, run. Get out of the situation. The point is that it takes 3 minutes from the brain signals down to the full body pumped up with adrenaline. It takes 3 minutes for that process to be complete. So actually, if you follow this 4-stage plan, or this 4-step process, your anxiety attacks, once you manage to control them, might only last for 3 minutes. Now, for some of you, that was, yeah, right, okay, whatever. But for others, that's fairly big, because sometimes anxieties and panic attacks can last way longer. I mean, I know some people suffer for an hour or two. So this, if it makes a difference to you, then that's fab. So really the first point is to relax. Just to be very mindful and be present right now. Try and calm yourself down. And I know that's easier said than done. And I know that that's, you know, that just sort of sounds like a very flippant comment for someone that's actually going through this. But the way I encourage you to do that is just concentrate on your breathing. Now, I'm not going to go through breathing techniques. That's for another video, and there's loads of stuff on the internet already. But really, just for now, if you concentrate on your breathing by deliberately, slowly, just taking deep, slow breaths, and just concentrate, and you will start feeling your body sort of calming down a tiny bit. So that's step 1, is relax. Step 2 is, how do we interrupt that brain signal And that's going from the brain to the adrenals. And actually, how do we interrupt the mind when it's panicking, when it's going, oh crap, I've got to get out of this situation, I can't cope, oh, I'm having another panic attack, what do I do? Someone will see. We have to interrupt that panic, that sort of fight or flight syndrome. And the way I suggest you do that is just in your head, mentally, because if you're walking around Tesco's or sitting on the bus, it's rather hard to sort of start shouting. But mentally, in your head, just shout, stop, stop. And what that does is, by going through that step, it interrupts the brain and it gives the brain something else to think about. Point 2, try and interrupt that patter. To try and, it's a bit like pulling the reins on a horse. So just pull the reins in and just shout, in your head, just shout stop. Okay. And point 3 is really reframing all that negativity that's going on in your head. All that, I'm going to be sick, I'm feeling ill, I don't know what to do, people are looking at me. And it's just a matter of reframing all that. So see if you can identify a positive phrase that works for you. You know, one might be, this has happened before, I'm now in control, it's going to last 3 minutes, wait. If that works, that's great. It could be, my heart is thumping out of my chest, but this is normal. This is what adrenaline does. I'm back in control. It's going to last 3 minutes. Now, that's all rational thinking. You find the phrase that works for you, that tells you that actually you're all right and you're safe and you're not going to be sick. Just whatever phrase works for you. So reframe all that negativity. So step 3, okay? Positive thoughts, positive phrases. And 4 is really acknowledge what you're feeling. Do you know, I think half the problem is that we trivialize what's going on in our heads. We trivialize the emotion, and that actually can exacerbate it a bit. So it's a matter of, okay, this is real. This is what I'm feeling, and be present with it, and just try and work out why it's happening. Because for some reason the brain has put you into that fight or flight mode. So if you're fortunate enough to know that you've got a presentation tomorrow, then you can do something about it. Many people, when they suffer from anxiety and get into that cycle, can't quite work out what actually triggers it. If you can find the trigger, fab. If you can't, then just acknowledge that this is how you feel, but acknowledge that you've got the strength to make the changes because you've now got this 4-step plan. So the fact that actually knowing this doesn't have to last forever, it doesn't have to last an hour, 2 hours or whatever, it probably makes it feel less debilitating. And if that works for you, I'm so glad you watched this video. Just know that a lot of us go through it, and actually not enough of us are brave enough to talk about it. So just be kind to yourself. Eat well, get a lot of rest, drink a lot of fluids, all the usual stuff. But just be kind to yourself, because we don't talk about mental health enough. We don't talk about stresses and panics. But if you know that actually there's help out there, I mean, this is what I find with the young people with Childline, even just by reaching out, it makes a world of difference. So if you need to reach out and you want to get in contact with me, that's cool. My details are on my website, and that comes at the end of the video. So thank you again for listening, and this is me, Kai Graham, at The Mind Model. Thank you.